Live button?
There we go.
Are we live?
We are live.
Did I actually do it? That's very exciting.
It. Good job.
Oh, do I listen to you in Discord?
No. Mimo.
Yeah, I think I do.
You muted the Mimo audio, I think.
Right. So that's, but it's working. Why am I okay with? Maybe I should listen.
Because the only way you can mute me is in Mimo. So go back to Mimo.
No, I've muted you in Discord or in Mimo by muting Chrome.
That's not
What's
the way.
wrong?
That's not the way we do it.
I know
Remember
it is
that
the way we do it.
That mute button we gave you. That's so that you can mute me in Mimo. You can't do that in Discord.
I can't mute. Got it. Okay, so I got to turn on Google Chrome. I kind of liked muting Google Chrome. All right, and then I got to come back over here and get rid of you in Discord. I don't know what's making my volume. Oh, actually, I think I found what was making my volume go up. So my output over here has to go to there, and then I do this. Okay, now talk to me, Steve.
How about now? Am I in?
There, I muted him. It worked.
Good.
All right. There's a little bit of a lag, but nothing like what we had earlier.
I think the only thing we haven't done is playback of audio.
Yeah, here, tell me if you guys can hear this music. All right, Sandy can hear it.
No, thank you.
All right, and now I'm trying to figure out, I wish I knew a good way to get the URL for stuff when I upload it. Copy URL, but that's not going to work. I would like someone to fix this problem for me. How about that? .feed.com. Does this work? Maybe if anybody can click that link and see that video. What's that on Steve's shirt? Where was that shirt from? Is that from Maui?
That is from Bora Bora, when we went on a scuba diving trip. That's the one where you had that nice bouncy ride.
Oh my gosh! I actually thought I was dying. I've never felt this before in my life. We went out to go scuba diving, and this joker took us out when the waves were way too big, and it was a little bitty flat boat. It was I don't know, 15 feet long, something like that, maybe 20, pretty small, and it had he was hitting the waves just banging like this, and I came down straight on my spine and knocked the wind out of me.
And it was a
And
big wave. It was like
it
a 5 foot
was
wave.
I could not believe how long the wind was knocked out of me. At first I thought I was paralyzed, and then I thought I was going to die because it wasn't coming back. Like I knew I couldn't move, but I couldn't breathe. Oh, that was
Now,
horrible. That
as
was
I
not my favorite time scuba diving.
as I recall, that was on our way back from the trip.
No, that was when he was going to try to go outside of the reef, and then he
So
decided, oh, maybe not.
so somehow you were able to scuba dive after that.
Yeah, because like about 15 minutes later, it stopped being horribly painful.
Probably being in the water was the best thing you could do for it.
Yeah, that guy was nuts. That guy was not good. He was cute though. So does that video? Okay, you guys can see the video. Yeah, watch that video and explain to me. Thank you, Rick. Rick's glad I didn't die. All right, I explained. This is more cat than I need right now. I don't need. You're not helping. Okay.
That's Gracie.
And she sheds like crazy too. So do you like my background? This is my new green screen stapled to the ceiling. It's got don't look behind the curtain. We've been experimenting, and mostly unsuccessfully, with trying to do a green screen just for the, just to say we can, right? Well, that's interesting. My preview window in Mimo Live, I've got like 8 inches of headroom, but on the over in Mimo Live, it's not really a lot of space. So
looks good here.
Okay. Oh, John's looking into my my video. Yeah. So basically, the video shows that I have every single freaking device in Do Not Disturb. I have allow calls from no one, and calls still come through. So I made the video for Dan Morin and Micah Sargent because when I was on Clockwise a couple of weeks ago, all of my devices started ringing when Kyle called me on FaceTime. And I was like, I'm sorry, I have them on Do Not Disturb. I can't help it. And they were very gracious about it. But Micah recently did a video all about Do Not Disturb and how to master it. And so I said, okay, explain to me why this is happening. So don't know. Putting in a frame helps, Mike's West Bay Star says. Yeah. The problem is I've got a bed behind me here, and so I'd have to have a frame that could have shorter legs on one side sitting on top of the bed. So that's not really the problem. The problem is that the different colors with Beam Alive are kind of coming through as different. You lose the I don't know, the gamma thing doesn't work quite right. I don't know how to describe it. How would you describe it, Steve?
Well, I think it's a combination, I think, of the folds we've got in that screen and the lighting. As you said, the lighting isn't consistent. But we also have different light sources with different colors. We have LED.
Oh, Mike says backlighting. Didn't think about putting the light behind it.
No, well, they say backlighting for the person who is not being keyed out. The person you want backlight on you.
Right, we did play with that.
Right.
But it appears we've got to talk to the Mimo guys because I tried it in Zoom. It's perfect. Just push button. It says, touch the color that you want to take out. And I touch the green. It goes boom. And it looks perfect. But oh, no. Behind you on the screen. Oh, we don't even know what backdrop we're thinking of, Frank. This is just sort of because we can. It just seemed like fun. It was really cheap to get a green screen, and everybody's doing background, so we thought it'd be fun, right?
At the end of the show, we will show. I can turn it on. It may cause our delay problem, but I'll turn it on so they can see what the effect we're getting.
I would like my input to stop going up. I would really like that to stop going up. It just did it again, and I checked in. Is that your old shower curtain? Yes. I checked the audio in Discord. Automatically determine input sensitivity is turned off. Where am I supposed to have it? To the left?
But let's see. I don't. So the audio that you're listening to is your Discord audio or your Mimo?
No, I'm monitoring my microphone and I'm watching the input. I had it set at 25. It just went to 35. So now right now it's at 23.
We used to have this problem. I forget how we solved it.
Yeah, I don't remember, but all right, I just slid the automatically determined input sensitivity, which is turned off. I slid it all the way to the left, which if you can still hear me, I think is okay.
We can hear you.
But I should probably do roll call if nothing else.
Yes.
I got to keep watching that number. Right. Yep, 23 went to 25. It's going up. What am I running? It's not an audio hijack thing, right? Oh, I might as well just for grins and giggles pretend that I've got everything in do not disturb. Yeah, it's not going to help. It's the backdrop's fault. Yep, it just went up to 31. Did I maybe I made a note and keep it about this. Sometimes I'm smart enough to do that. It's up to 34. Digital audio player. What is pass through? Ripple moves script? No. Gain. How about gain? Anything got gain in it? Hindenburg stereo versus mono. Discord audio fixed. Got it working again. Eesh. Changed it to experimental.
You're sourcing through the Shure MVI interface?
Yeah, and I'm watching the lights get lit up. It's up to 35% now.
How about switching away from the Shure to something else and back, just to tickle it?
Maybe. Let's see. I just found something. Turn off audio determined input slider. Pull slider to the left per Dave's instructions. Auto gain controls echo cancellation. I would like this to stop. I don't see anything else on that. Advanced noise suppression. No echo cancellation. Turn it on or off? Also turned off. Echo cancellation. Turn off noise reduction. There's another automatic gain control. Jeez. Okay. All right. I'm now going to set it to 30% or so. 25. All right. Let me do a test recording. Actually, I have to do roll call first. We have Brett and Kevin and Marty and Jason, Ian, and not Ian Princeton, Ian, the other Ian, and Mike Price and Rick Cartwright and Sandy and Steve and Mike Westbay. Let's see. And in our sidebar, we may have Barry. We have, let's see, Elliot isn't actually listening. Jill's here, I bet. And John, only one John. And there's Mike again, Rick, Wheels. There we go. I know I'm done when I get to Wheels. Is Rose here? Because she's sometimes widget bot.
Did you say Trevor? He might be here.
Oh, Trevor. Is that Trevor in Canberra?
It might be.
Oh, I hope so, because this is my favorite dumb question of all time today. So let me do a little test recording. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, and I'm excited to be here tonight. My audio is just doing things all by itself. Okay. It sounded loud, didn't it? Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast. All right. Did it sound okay to you?
Yeah, sounded okay to me.
Sounded a little loud to me.
Sandy said loud and clear.
All right, good. It is me from Canberra.
Oh,
all right,
Trevor.
I need to go fast because we've got to play this whole segment.
Let's do it. Let's go.
All right. Muting Steve. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, May 3rd, 2020, and this is show number 782. Well, thanks to Steve's request last week about the 15-year anniversary show, a lot of folks have sent in their audio recordings about how they found the NosillaCast and what they get out of listening. I'm floored by how lovely these recordings are. If you'd like to talk about your experiences with the show, please don't forget to send them in soon. We have decided that the 15-year show will be on Sunday, May 17th. so make sure you get them in, say, the next week or so. May 13th is the actual anniversary, but it seemed like doing it the Sunday before wouldn't be right, so we're going to do it the Sunday after. And thank you to everybody who sent in recordings already. They mean the absolute world to me and Steve. Well, we've got a twofer on Chit Chat Across the Pond this week. I am still hearing that. I don't get
How's the
noise.
volume?
It's holding steady now.
Okay. Could you tilt your camera down just a touch?
I could.
Good.
Because you can't quite see the mantle?
Well, no, your head is towards the bottom. Looks funny, yeah.
I can do more.
No, that's good.
Nope. Okay, there we go. So I am going to do I really wish that this wouldn't have all the noise on the line. Sounds horrible to me. Okay, hang on. Oh no, it did just go up. So when it gets too loud, I hear it as a. That is really annoying. Yep, I put it to 25. It's already at 27. And this is number.
Did you switch away from the MVI and back?
I did not. How many places should I change it? I do it in a lot of places, you know.
Well, what you're listening to, the monitor you're listening to, does that happen in just one place, or are there multiple places?
No. And my monitor is what's getting recorded. So that's the most important thing. So let me bring up audio hijack. I mean, how did I ever get this to stop? Okay, I'm going to switch mics. Let's make it be let's see. There, how do I sound coming through my webcam? Pretty good?
A little echoey.
Yeah, that might not be the one you want.
Webcam, Heil PR40.
Hard to tell. All right, we're up to 36% here. Go back to 25. All right. So I changed it and changed it back. This is why you always want to monitor your own audio. But okay, let me try to keep recording here. So far, it's still at 25. Muting Steve. I love that control surface. First of all, Adam Angst has been publishing tidbits for 30 years, so I asked him to come on the show to talk about that journey. Now, while we technically had an agenda, this conversation wandered into all kinds of fun topics, like why Adam still goes to the same dentist office even though the dentist left, and why he doesn't know how many words per minute he types. I found a kindred spirit in Adam in his ability to keep doing something he loves for a very long time. I smiled and laughed, and I enjoyed the heck out of recording this episode. It was one of my most enjoyable chit chats, and I've had a lot of fun chit chats. Anyway, you can find this episode in your podcatcher of choice as part of Chit Chat Across the Pond Light. And of course, you can always listen over at podfeed.com as Chit Chat Across the Pond episode 636. Okay. And the audio's barely up. Oh, man. That sound is going to drive me bonkers. What's really weird is I don't get this this problem when I record in using audio hijack normally without all this stuff running. So no, number 637. Art PBS 95. Okay. There it goes. It's up to 37. When I figure this out, make sure that I write it down and keep it. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Because I will have to figure this out eventually. Back to 25. Stay. All right. Muting Steve. The second Chit Chat Across the Pond I recorded this week was Bart Bouchat's back with Programming by Stealth, installment 95 of X. It was called Better JavaScript Class Attributes. This week, Bart explains how to give our JavaScript classes better data attributes via a very powerful JavaScript feature, getters and setters. I'd heard about those before and I didn't know what they were. I was excited to learn that. On my first read through the notes, though, for the episode, my head was spinning a bit, but Bart explains things so well using concrete examples like a circle with a radius. Even I could follow that analogy mostly. Anyway, because he was so good at explaining it, I think he got it through to me. When I told him up front that I struggled a wee bit when reading the show notes, he made me feel better by saying, "This is the pointy end," which I think he meant it was a difficult concept. So I felt a little bit better about it. In the end, it made a lot of sense, and I see the reasons for the tools he explained. I highly recommend you read Bart's terrific tutorial show notes at bartificer.net/PBS95 as you listen along at Chit Chat Across the Pond on podfeet.com or while listening along in your podcatcher of choice at Programming by Stealth. It's not at Programming by Stealth. What do you do? Okay. Now I want to pimp something. Chord killers. We are having a lot of fun. Mike Price is helping me with my programming now.
Good on you,
Which
Mike.
is fun. It's different than wait a minute. No, it's not Mike Price. Wait, yes, it is.
Mike is in the chat room. He can confirm or deny.
Yes, I'm getting stuck because I'm looking at West Bay stars. That's Mike West Bay. Oh, it gets hard.
Hey, was Kiwi Spoon here before?
I did not see Kiwi Spoon.
Joined us. Welcome, Stephen.
A little bit late, but you know what? We have everybody allowed to be late these days, right?
Yeah.
Until further notice. All right. Quick spam here. Here we go. Okay, let me turn the audio down. Somebody look that up.
How to turn your audio down?
No, auto gain control in some of the 45 apps I'm running. All right, here we go. This week, I had the pleasure of being a guest on Chord Killers with Brian Brushwood and Tom Merritt. I was trepidatious about being on this show because these guys know so much about, the background of every single TV show, every producer, every movie, every director, history of the networks, history of the convoluted paths of the different streaming services. And, I'm over here watching Andy Griffith on Netflix. Anyway, I still had a blast as we talked about how Netflix's new subscriber growth is insane, and we try to forecast what it will look like in the future. We also talked about the pushed out releases of several new superhero movies, and we wondered what the world is coming to when Scooby-Doo goes straight to digital purchase. We even mused about what movie theaters of the future will look like. Go check it out at chordkillers.com or look for Chord Killers in that now famous podcatcher of choice. It's episode number 309. All right. Enough spamming. Okay. Now we're going to do...
Ed joined us.
Yes? What? Who?
Ed. Mr. Ed.
Ed. Hi, Ed. Ed is excited because we're finally going to learn about PHP.
It's about time.
Yes, he's very excited. I'm having this problem lately that copy doesn't copy. Come on. Command C. Command V. There we go. Good job. Finally. Copy link. Okay, this is going to be a long slug.
This is yes. I'm surprised.
No, it's not that one.
Oh.
It's the XK Pass WD.
Right. I'm surprised when I saw this that you hadn't done this before. I mean, think how long
this
because
I saved it.
Okay. I mean,
that I've never done
years
it before.
ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I just looked. I was like, I never knew that.
All right, let's get going.
All right, here we go. Man, I wish that audio would stop being so annoying. Oh, I have an idea. What if I drop an equalizer in on my way in? Hang on one second. Built-in effects. I dropped a 10-band equalizer in there, and I changed it to be a bass booster. Could I bring out?
So you're going to audio level your audio level?
No, yeah, hang on. There it is. It's at 4 kilohertz. That's where that frequency is that I'm hearing, and I just killed it on input. Oh, I already had one.
Oh. Oh, you're notch filtering. Good.
Yeah. Okay, let me get rid of that one. I shouldn't have 2 of those. Let me fix it in this one. So it's 4 kilohertz. Yeah. Do I sound weird?
No.
I still sound okay.
Apparently, you have no 4 kilohertz component to your voice.
So I don't sound weird?
No. Wait a minute. No, I do hear that 4 kilohertz missing now.
Reboot. Thanks, Joe. Okay. Here we go. Still got to watch. Yeah, that audio level's just going up. 25. Put it back down. Stay. Okay, here we go. It's so exciting. Here we go. Back in 2011, Randall Munroe, the author of the fantastically nerdy and hilarious comic strip XKCD, wrote a comic he calls Password Strength. In the illustration, he explains how by forcing humans to create complex passwords, we've actually encouraged them into creating easy to guess passwords that are terribly difficult to remember. Being a nerd, he includes how many bits of entropy are in these awful passwords, and then explains how if we just string 4 random common words together, we'd have much more difficult passwords to crack that are actually possible to remember. In the example strong password he uses, the one he uses is correct horse battery staple. And that line has become a staple phrase amongst those who encourage good passwords. Around that same era, Steve Gibson made a very compelling case on the podcast Security Now with Leo Laporte for the importance of password length over password complexity. I won't even begin to try to explain the math behind it, but I gave a link to the 37-minute explanation in the show notes. Both the XKCD cartoon and Steve Gibson were trying to get across to us that it's possible to create really good passwords that we can actually remember. Bart Bouchat started noodling these two ideas in combination. XKCD's illustration of how common words can make good passwords, and Steve Gibson on the fact that longer, by definition, is way harder to crack. From these ideas, Bart created a tool to help people create long, strong, and yet memorable and typable passwords. He called his project XKPassWD with a head nod to XKCD, and later on he published it as an open source project on GitHub. Not GitHub, GitHub. Audio is still going up. You're muted.
Maybe you're creating a new service?
What?
GitHub? GitHabitat for humanity? Yeah. I don't know. Work with me.
Muting you. He called his project XKPassWD for a head nod to XKCD. And later on, Bart actually put it up as an open source project on GitHub, calling it crypt-hx, I can't even say it, HSXKPassWD. Anyway, Bart has a full explanation of all the tech behind this tool at bartbouchats.ie, and there's a full link in the show notes. Bart's tool is available as a user-friendly website at xkpasswd.net. Now, I've mentioned this a million times on the show, and Bart and I have talked about it together and the development behind it, but it occurred to me recently that I've never written a guide, a tutorial on how to use XKPassWD. I use it all the time to create my passwords. In fact, I use it so much that it's a pinned tab in Safari so that I can simply click the tiny little square tab and I'm ready to create a password that I will not hate and I can actually type and remember. As you make these long, complex passwords and yet easy to remember passwords, I'm hoping that you're using a password manager like 1Password or LastPass. No matter how good your memory is, if you aren't using a password manager, you are bound to reuse passwords or start mutating one of the good ones we're about to create. Unique passwords are critical to keep your stuff safe, and no matter how readable the passwords are, you simply cannot remember them. So use a password manager, please. Now, I'll remind you again at the end, but creating this tool took Bart a very long time to write and prove the math, and he continues to pay for the server to support it. If you think it's as cool as I do, be sure to hit his donate button to help pay the bills. It's right there on the top at xkpastwd.net. So, with that long introduction, let me dig into explaining how to actually use XKPassWD to create strong passwords in a way that you can remember and type. I'm going to walk you through the settings at xkpastwd.net and show you how flexible this tool is to make passwords you won't hate. Oddly enough, I'd like to start at the bottom of XKPassWD. The very last section in the tool is called Generate Passwords. In that section, you'll see a button that says Generate 3 Passwords. When you first go to the website, if you simply click that button, 3 passwords of the default format will be spit out onto the text box next to the button. If one of the 3 passwords looks like something that, I don't know, makes you laugh or reminds you of something, and it looks like you have the patience for the format and length, then simply copy it and use it. You don't need to follow along with any of the rest of this tutorial. But I bet you're going to want to know what else this tool can do. If you're curious about how good the passwords are that you created by clicking the button, you'll notice a few boxes beside and next to the generated passwords that will tell you something about them. If you want to keep it simple, look at the length. It will say good in green if you've kept it with the defaults. Down below the text box, it will tell you about the entropy of the password. Entropy is a super nerdy term that I learned about in physics that has to do with thermodynamics. But in this context, the term simply means lack of order or predictability. Well, that's what we want in a password, right? We want as little order and as little predictability as possible. Where we fall back into the land of nerds again is in how it's measured. As you'll see when you click the button for the default 3 passwords, it says the entropy is between 157 bits and 236 bits blind and 52 bits with full knowledge. We are not going to worry our pretty little heads about this because Bart helpfully colors these numbers in green if they're good and red if they're not. And the strength will change color too if you pick bad settings. Remember, green good, red bad. Within the generate password section, you can use a pull down to change the number of passwords generated every time you push the button, or you can just obsessively keep clicking the button with 3 coming out each time. I like clicking it. Makes me feel like I'm in Vegas pulling the handle of a slot machine to see what will come up. As I said, I wait until I see one that makes me laugh or that maybe reminds me of something. Now that you know you can stop listening to me at any point, just start generating passwords, let's explore the rest of the tool, starting with the presets. Across the top of XKPassWD, there are 8 preset buttons to choose the format of the passwords that will be generated. Each preset is designed to solve a different problem. If you hover over each preset, a pop-up will tell you what problem it is trying to solve. I put them all in the blog post so you can scan them all without hovering. But I'm going to just call out a couple of these examples. One of them says Apple ID. That's a preset respecting many of the prerequisites Apple places on Apple ID passwords. The preset also limits itself to symbols found on the iOS letter and number keyboards. So, not that awkward to reach symbol keyboard. So, that's a really good one for picking your long, strong Apple ID password, which might be one of the most important ones to keep safe. Then, of course, there's the default, and it says the default preset results in a password consisting of 3 random words of between 4 and 8 letters with alternating case, separated by a random character with 2 random digits before and after, and padded with 2 random characters front and back. We're going to get all into that. I'm going to skip over some of these, but one of the ones is a security question preset. So this is to create fake answers to security questions. It's important that you never, ever, ever answer security questions with the right answer. This is how your accounts can easily be hacked. If, for example, the question is, what's your mother's maiden name? This information is easily available on the internet. Instead, use this preset and get an answer such as pull Uncle Belgium dollar space meat from XKPassWD. It actually gave me that security answer. Isn't that awesome? I mean, come on, that's a great one. And then you put that answer in your password manager, and you'll always have it. So just don't ever tell the truth. Use xkpastwd.net to generate those. There's a preset for websites that insist on passwords of only 16 characters. Never ever use that one if you don't have to. There's also one for Web32 that allows up to 32 characters long. Now, he's got one for Wi-Fi passwords, and it'll generate a 63 character long WPA2 key. So most routers allow 64, but some only 63, which is why he does that odd length. But I have a cautionary tale on this 63 character business for your Wi Fi password. Sure, we have a password manager, so we don't have to type it very often, and our phones offer barcode scanning to other people, so they never have to type it in. But I have a super long password on my Wi Fi router, and I have had to type it in on the old style Apple TV remote. You remember the silver one with the buttons to click back and forth to select the characters? I also had to type it into my HP printer, which has a non touchscreen display that is 2 3/8 inches diagonally, and it has a QWERTY layout that I had to navigate with up, down, left, right buttons. I may have said some non Girl Scout safe words about Bart when I was typing that in. And mine is only 24 characters long, not 63. Finally, there's the XKCD preset, which generates one similar to the example in the XKCD cartoon we talked about. The what is it? Horse battery staple. I forget the first word. Well, anyway, everybody else does. But anyway, this one creates them just like that, but it has a dash to separate the 4 random words, and the capitalization is randomized because it needs to add a sufficient entropy to avoid warnings. All right, so now you've got these presets. You can just hit those presets and go to the generate 3 passwords. Boom, you can stop listening again. But with the given preset selected, the settings section presents 6 different settings that modify how the passwords will be created. Next to each setting is a little plus button, and that invites you to click anywhere on the setting to change the values. Let's walk through the settings using the Apple ID preset as our starting point. You can start with any one of the settings, though. The first setting is the number of words in the password. The Apple ID preset starts with 3 words of between 5 and 7 letters from the English dictionary. We can modify this from 3 words to anywhere, say from 2 to 10 words. I don't know about you, but 3 sounds like enough. You can change the minimum and maximum lengths of the randomly chosen words from 4 to 12 characters each. You can play around with these lengths, but if you shorten them, be sure to test your changes by tapping the generate 3 passwords button down at the bottom and watch to make sure the strength is still green for good. All of the I'm sorry, I'm not being condescending to you. It's what I do. I go, "Oh, green, good. Okay, I'm good." Anyway, all of the presets use words from the English dictionary. Inside the settings for words, it has a drop down to change the dictionary language, but you'll see that English is the only option. If you want to go crazy with other dictionaries, go check out Bart's open source project I mentioned earlier, where you can preload other languages' dictionaries. One of the easiest ways to increase the search space for a password hacker is to have both upper and lowercase letters in your password. So instead of 26 characters, it goes to 52 right away, right? But imagine how annoying it would be, especially on a phone keyboard, to type in a password with, say, every other letter capitalized. Just having one in there would make it harder to crack, but remembering where that capital letter is, that one is, would be too much for our little brains. By default, the Apple ID preset randomly chooses whether to capitalize each word or not. Because it's randomly doing it by word, the password generator may offer you options with all uppercase or all lowercase. This is not a coding error if it happens. That's by design because it's randomly deciding on each word. To ensure you have both upper and lowercase letters, you can choose another option from the dropdown, such as alternating word case or capitalize first letter. If you really want some entertainment, he's got an option to capitalize every letter except the first letter, and he shows you what that's going to look like. I can't imagine anything more annoying than lowercase first letter and all the rest of the letters capitalized. If doing the upper lowercase thing is too much friction for you, there are options to have just lower or just uppercase words in your password. Watch those entropy colors at the bottom when you generate the passwords, though. Another great way to increase the entropy of a password is to add in special characters. But rather than sprinkle them randomly inside your password where you can't remember where they are, XKPassWD uses them as separators between the words. Having a special character as a separator between words actually makes the password way easier to read and therefore easier to remember. By default, XKPassWD will choose a random character from an alphabet. The alphabet, by definition, or by default, I should say, contains dash, colon, period, and comma. That's the alphabet that it's going to use to choose the separator. These characters are displayed inside little boxes, like the ones where you have to fill in your name on a form and they want to make sure you write clearly. Well, there's a bunch of empty boxes. That kind of invites you to type in more characters to add to the alphabet. You can even delete characters from the alphabet. As you add and delete, the set gets updated real time up above. For some reason, there's a green plus sign at the far right of the little boxes where you can put the characters in, but it doesn't seem necessary to click it. You can click it if it makes you happy, though. If there's a character that you prefer to type and would like to make your passwords always have that same character, you can change the separator to be a specified character using the dropdown, and then type in a character you prefer. While the password would seem as strong whether the separator is chosen randomly or whether you use the same one every time, there is a difference. If someone sees one of your passwords for something you don't really care about, they might be able to figure out the pattern you're using for your passwords and have a better shot at getting into an important account. For example, let's say you tell someone your Wi Fi password and they notice that you have 4 words of 5 characters, always separated by hyphens. That gives them a way smaller search space to crack your password for something else. Now, of course, if you're not a high value target, this is probably not a big deal, but something to keep in mind. I think that's what Bart is talking about when he shows us the bits of entropy with full knowledge. Someone knows the pattern, but they don't know exactly what characters are in each slot. In addition to a bunch of words separated by special characters, Bart's password design with XKPassWD adds a couple of digits, also known as numbers, before and after the words. He calls these padding digits. Now we've added another kind of character, 0 to 9, that's going to make this password a little harder to crack, or actually a lot harder to crack by adding these padding digits. By default, the Apple ID preset has 2 digits before and after, and you can change that from 0 to 5 digits using the pull downs. Having these padding digits, even just one at the front or back of the password, is yet another easy way to increase the search space for the hacking computer to try to guess your password. I do not advise setting this to 0. You really need some digits in there. The final setting you can change at XKPassWD is padding symbols. Now, that's not to be confused with separators or padding digits. That confused me at first. Padding symbols are a special character or more that pads your password at the beginning and end. This section has a lot of options. Just like the separator settings, you can choose a random character for your padding symbols, add to the alphabet, and change it to a specified character. But you can also set it to match whatever is chosen for the separator character. I like that option a lot so I don't have to remember 2 special characters. You can set the number of padding digits before and after the other characters using the fixed option for padding type. There's another option in here that's really unusual. I just discovered it when I was writing this up. If you have a goal of making a password that's of a specific length, let's say 32, which is often a guideline for wicked good passwords, you can change the padding type from fixed to adaptive using the pull down. This will reveal a field where you can enter the length you want your entire password to be. So let's say you've chosen 3 words of 4 characters each with just separators and no padding. That would be a 14 character password, which really isn't long enough without a lot of entropy. By the way, Bart's tool says it's only 89 bits and it only says okay in yellow instead of good in green. Well, if you use the adaptive option and set it to pad to length 20, it'll just add 6 of the same character to the end of your password. I just tried it and I got main dash song dash view in all capital letters. And then that went exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point 6 times. So that's actually a really good password, but it's pretty obvious how you could remember it. Now, your first thought would be that adding 6 exclamation marks can't possibly make a good password, but that's where Steve Gibson's lesson in security now comes in. Like I said, I'm not going to go through his full explanation, but the bottom line is that simply making a password longer makes it a lot stronger, even if you're repeating a character. With only 1 exclamation point at the end of my password scheme, it was only 96 bits of entropy, but adding 6 of them made it 128 bits of entropy. So it's way better and way harder to remember. Now, I think this option might be the best illustration of what makes a good, strong password. Having all different kinds of characters, upper and lowercase, and lots of characters, even if they're repeated, will get you a good password. Now, there is a danger with repeated characters. Let's say I'm sitting next to you and I see you using all kind of random fingers to type a password, and then I see you reach over and hit one key 6 times. I'm probably going to notice which keys, and I'd have an advantage trying to crack it. The last section in settings is really cool if you don't want to use one of the presets. Heck, if you're still with me this far, you must enjoy all these customizations. This section is called Load Save Config. If you open it up and click the Save Config button, it will spit out what's called a dictionary in programming terminology. It's a set of name value pairs that match the settings that you've chosen. For example, if you choose the Apple ID preset and select Save Config, the text box will say num words :3, word underscore length underscore min :5, etc. You don't have to be a super nerd to use this config file, but if you want to, you can use it with Bart's crypt hsxkpassd to open his open source project. I think there's a W in there, and I've got a typo in my show notes. I will fix that. Anyway, you can use it over in his open source project. But let's say you're just a budding nerdlet. There's still some fun to be had for you with load save config. I created a configuration I favor. No, I'm not going to tell you what it is, and it's not in any of my examples. Anyway, I created my own configuration and then I tapped on Save Config. I then copied what was in the box and I pasted it into a text expander snippet. Instead of having to flip all the switches to get the configuration settings that I like every time I use Bart's tool, now when I come to xkpasswd.net, I can simply type my text expander abbreviation into the little box, hit the load config button, and after that, I hit generate 3 passwords, choose the funniest one, and I'm ready to go. Now, the final piece of information XKPassWD gives you is a nice visual summary of the password scheme you've created. First, it gives you the structure with a series of little boxes. For example, the Apple ID preset says P, which is a padding character, DD means 2 digits, word S, that's the separator, word S, DDP. I know that sounds really dopey as I read it out loud, but when you're looking at it, it makes perfect sense. Trust me. Then it tells you the length of the password it will generate, which for the Apple ID preset is between 25 and 31 characters. Now, that length variability is because the length of the word was 5 to 7 characters each. Finally, it tells you your character coverage over, which gives you an idea of whether you've got enough types of characters. The Apple ID preset says lowercase ABC, uppercase ABC. That means we have both lower and uppercase letters. It shows 0 to 9, showing we use numbers, and then just what is it, dollar exclamation point star, which means we have included special characters. So you get an idea of whether you've got enough characters used. Now, I'm really glad I wrote this up because it made me truly understand every little setting in Bart's XKPassWD tool and how I can modify them. I've been an avid user for ages, like I said, probably since the first time he showed it to me, but I wasn't taking advantage of everything it can do. I hope you'll consider using XKPassWD to generate your passwords so that they're easy for you to type and remember, but hard for computers to crack. I also hope you'll appreciate how much work went into not just the beautiful design of this tool, but the math behind it to make sure it's safe for us to use. With that appreciation, again, please consider pushing the donate button for Bart. I push it and I donate around once a year.
Finally, XKPassWD is covered in a
For
complete
real.
manner.
Yeah, I got to go
All
check.
these
I'm
years.
almost positive I'm missing a Bart even read this. He approved this message. No, it does not have a XK Pass. Yeah, I did forget the W. Okay. I need to fix that.
Do you want me to work
I
that?
found another.
Do you want me to? You're on it.
Yeah, I'll fix it. I hate that name he chose.
Yeah,
Try
it's
to
hard
try
to
to say that. Everybody try to say it out loud. Capital H. Actually, here. Let's see.
Yeah,
I'll type. I'll paste it in here. Try to say this out loud. Oh, and it's actually crypt : that. Oh, I think it might even be worse. I think it's crypt :
Crypt : HSXK password or
Pass WD.
WD. Yeah, that's not. That's like.
And I had to say it like 85 times when we were doing it before.
I would say verbally that's high entropy.
Yeah, that's a good password though.
Yeah.
Man. All right. Now we get to have some fun. This is what Trevor's been waiting for.
Palette cleanser.
I don't know if I'd call it that.
You okay?
Yes.
Don't hiccup.
No, I'm not going to hiccup. I might burp though.
You want to go on mute?
Yep. Trevor, I named this Trevor Drover and the International Mystery Keystroke Adventure. Everybody who was here last week remembers the option escape story, right?
Yes.
You're going to rehear some of that. Michael West Bay gets a shout out here. Okay. It's going to start with me, then it's going to be Trevor, then it's going to be a secret guest. Where did it go?
Ooh, no spoilers.
Where is it? Oh, come on.
I found it.
Where's the post?
Do you want me to send it to you?
No, no, no. You can't send it to me. It has to be. What the heck? What the heck is going on? It's gone. I just refreshed and the blog post is gone.
He's gone.
No, it's not funny. It's gone.
I'm looking at the blog post. You want me to refresh, or maybe I should?
Oh, I know it's gone. I don't know what happened, but something about the text that Trevor sent me. I use block quotes when I'm quoting somebody. It's an HTML term.
Yeah.
It would not put in the carriage returns, the line feeds in between his paragraphs. It just made it the one big giant thing. And then I tried to put in manual line feeds. And when I tried to post it to the blog, it would not go. It said I had a bad plugin. So I ended up copying and pasting everything.
It looks like it's the appropriate quote format in
oh
WordPress.
God, no, it's all, oh no, 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 no.
It looks good to me here. I'm looking at it, Al.
That's great, but look what this looks like. I'm going to paste it in here. No, I've got a real problem.
Oh yeah, that's. So, did you save?
I'm going to have to read it from the web. I'm going to have to,
What's wrong with
no, this isn't good. I mean, it might be okay, but if I touch this, there's something wrong. Oh, come on. Where's my link to?
I'll send it to you.
No. No. Sure. Telegram. Or did you just put the link in here?
No.
Oh, I have the link. Hang on. No, I have the link. I just pasted it. I just put it in the thing. There you go. Oh, come on. There we go. No. That one.
It is in the Discord chat room up right there.
Yeah. Okay. Something's definitely wrong. Okay. All right, here we go. This is going to be so fun. It's mostly not me. Hang on. Let me slide over. There you go. Oh, I need the dumb question music. I haven't had a dumb question that was this good in forever. All right.
Dumb
questions.
How
come I always have to?
It's time for Dumb Question Corner.
Well, this might be my favorite dumb question of all time. It starts in Australia, passes through the United States, saunters into the Netherlands, then hits 2 spots in Japan, and ends up in our collective distant past. We'll start with the original question from Trevor Drova. Original question. Can't mispronounce Trevor's name. I think that would be poor form, don't you?
Yes.
We'll start with the original question from Trevor Drover in Australia. And my audio is increasing, but I'm going to just keep moving. And we're going to put Trevor's audio in first. Okay, here we go. In Australia.
Hi, Alison. I have a dumb question that maybe you or one of the internationally famous castaways can explain. I believe I've found an undocumented keyboard combination, the output of which I don't understand. But what problem were you trying to solve by randomly pressing key combinations, I hear you ask? This could be another dumb question that has no answer. A friend is learning to use Pages. If you use Pages, you know that when you have an object on a page, you can drag it into position and also drag the handles to resize it. Another option to move the object is to use the arrow keys for small adjustments. If you select the object and click on the Arrange pane, the exact size and position can be entered into the appropriate fields. My friend wanted to enter the precise size of an object, then use the keyboard arrows to position it without having to touch the mouse. So I created an arrow and made it 5 centimeters wide by 1 centimeter high, then went searching for a key combination that would cause the entry to be accepted and exit the box and return control to the object on the page. This is when I found Option Escape did something strange. I have no idea what the suffixes mean. These include PMS, AMS, PM apostrophe S, PM, AM, ISH, STS, THS, and RDS, depending on the numeral entered. The confusion continues as the Option Escape key combination only works in the presence of numbers 1 to 12. With your cursor to the immediate right of one of the digits, press Option Escape and a drop-down list appears. Numbers 1 to 12 can be entered lots of places, such as an email body or subject, but not in the To field, in a search field, in most documents, and when you hit Option Escape, up pops that window. What does it all mean? By the way, the only solution that I could find at present to my friend's Pages problem was to use the mouse to once more select the object and then use the keyboard keys. Cheerio for now.
Winchester chimes.
Is that what I heard in the background? Was that from
That's
Trevor?
what I heard.
Nice. That's a good way to end it. Sorry, gotta go.
Yeah. Probably not
Doorbell's
intentionally,
ringing.
but yeah, it sounds like, and then it was time to go.
That was really well done. I have to say, Trevor, good job.
All right. Here we go. Muting Steve.
Keyboard keys. Cheerio for now.
Well, I love Trevor's question here, but before we dig in, I do want to elaborate on exactly what Trevor observes when he hits Option Escape. His description was quite precise, but it's incredibly difficult to describe something clearly that makes no sense. He said that he was typing numbers from 1 to 12 into the size field in Pages, and he just happened to hit Option Escape in his experiments for the other reason. When you replicate Trevor's steps, you'll get a drop down that is full of what looks like nonsense and sounded like nonsense when he read it out loud. He was using Option Escape after typing a 1, and it was offering him 1 p.m. apostrophe S, 12 p.m. S, 1 a.m. S, and more in this weird dropdown. If you type in a 2 in that field and hit Option Escape, you'll get an equally eclectic list of glop all starting with 2, like 2 AMS, 2 ND, which would be like second, but then today, the number 2 DAY. Every number you test is a new adventure. I started playing around with this myself and trying it in different text fields like Trevor had mentioned, such as in the body of an email. I started noticing a partial pattern. Maybe the 1 to 12 thing had to do with time, like 2 AMs is sort of like 2 AM. I noticed something else very curious. One of the items in the dropdown for me was 190th, which is the name of a street near my house. Well, around this time, I was chatting with Helma in the Netherlands about it, and she gave it a try. When she typed in the number 3 and then Option Escape, one item in her dropdown was a very specific Dutch postal code from where she works. Now we have an interesting pattern. The list seems to be influenced by what we personally type. I tried selecting one of the options several times in a row, and I saw that option move up in the drop-down list until it was at the top. Then I found something inexplicable. In my list, but not hers, on the drop-down for 1, I saw 1 dash capital CHO with a line over it, ME. Looked like it said chom, but with a long O. I had no idea what this was or even how to draw a horizontal line over an O. I could copy and paste it, but I don't know how to make that happen. I couldn't even find it in the keystrokes available for the Mac, so I copied and pasted it into Google, where I discovered it is the way a city district is described in Japan. Okay, how did that one get in my list? Now I was really getting into this. During the live show last week, I demonstrated this bizarre Option Escape thing. I noticed that Michael Westbay was in the audience, and I know he lives in Japan. So I asked him to confirm that that one dash Chome thing is a city district. And he said it was, but that I was drastically mispronouncing it. The Chome, I think, is Chomi. And now someone else who's coming up in a moment tried to get me to pronounce the one as though I know how to speak Japanese and can count in Japanese, but I'm not going to do that. Anyway, I knew one more person who would enjoy being baffled by this weird discovery of Trevor's, and that was Kaylee, who also lives in Japan. I told her about it via Telegram, and I was right that she was intrigued. In fact, I'm going to let her take over the story from here. Okay, this is
So
only Kaylee.
I didn't know you got an input from Kaylee on this.
Yeah.
Oh, this will be good.
Oh, it's okay. The
Not
title
that
of it.
Trevor's wasn't. That was priceless. But
Okay.
the combo is fantastic.
The title is
New
That's
Zealand
One
and
Small-
Japan.
Right. That's one small step for next step for humankind. Okay. So we're gonna. I don't care how late the show goes. You're gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna play this for you guys.
There will be
Her take over the story from here.
Yeah, Katie the yeah, and I'm definitely a geek. One of the frustrating or interesting things about being internet buddies with Alice and Sheridan is that we're never in the same time zone or even the same time of day. Time zones, as we all know from programming by stealth, are tricky little buggers, which can lead to, among other things, unusual times for conversations to occur, as well as you realizing days later that you don't quite remember that 3 a.m. conversation where you agreed to do a podcast bit. I don't drink, so this kind of thing never happens to me. Anyway, point is, I vaguely remember something about addresses and option escape and virtual machines. Wait, don't tell me. Or wrong podcast. But I think it's coming back to me. Let me just check my open Safari tabs. Yeah, here they are. Countless tabs about old operating systems. So let's back up a bit. As she mentioned, Allison messaged me regarding the use of chome in Japanese addresses. I confirmed what Michael had told her and tried to explain some of the uses, including pronunciation and a few examples. She then explained the bizarre nature of option escape auto-completing to various weird phrases. As I experimented a bit, I noticed that in addition to numbers 1 through 12, I could also type something like EXCIT and use option escape to get a list of words, including excited, excitingly, excitability, and simply excite, if you enjoy remembering search engines of the late 90s. However, unlike Helma, I was not seeing my Japanese postal code being auto-completed or anything like that. So I suspected that there may be a machine learning aspect to this, code which was added at some point beyond High Sierra. But this opened up a new can of worms. If this wasn't new and it worked on High Sierra, how far back could we go? To excite, well, okay, so I used Google, but this led me to a macworld.com post from October of 2003, which discussed this exact functionality in macOS 10 version 10.3 Panther. Yes, Panther. This feature is so old it came on optical media, and not even a DVD, but 4 CDs to boot. I quickly found a few other blog posts about this feature, including one on Daring Fireball from 2006. Meanwhile, Allison discovered that pressing F5 would also replicate the option escape functionality. And that's when the "it's almost 3 a.m., I really should be asleep, but" rabbit hole I dug myself into got even weirder. On both the Macworld and Daring Fireball pages, I kept seeing comments indicating that this system wide feature possibly dates all the way back to Next Step. Yes, Next Step, the predecessor to modern macOS. Well, to heck with sleep, let's fire up Previous. See, because it's next, so previous. Oh, never mind. Previous allows you to emulate a Nextcube or NextStation. It's fiddly, and I suspect that me using a Japanese keyboard may possibly be causing slight issues. Nevertheless, I was able to successfully boot into both NextStep 3.1 and OpenStep 4.0, but I was not at all prepared to see the words text edit appear in a 20-plus-year-old operating system. Logically, I know that Next is where TextEdit was born, and yet it was still a surreal experience. Alas, in both NextStep 3.1 and OpenStep 4.0, I was unable to replicate the option escape functionality. I tried everything I could think of, including F5, but no dice. But I wasn't about to give up that easily. Back to Alta Vista, Google. And wouldn't you know it, but I found a reference in The Complete Guide to the Next Step User Environment in regards to autocomplete functionality using the escape key in Terminal. Quote, Next Step monitors the text you type in the save and open panels and terminal windows and can assist you in completing long path names. After you have partially entered a path name, press the escape key to have next step completed. For example, if you were to type /local L and press escape, next step would complete the path name by typing library for you. And it's true. I was able to replicate this functionality in Terminal. Pressing the escape key does autocomplete directories. Success! I was so, what's the word? Elated? Enthusiastic? It starts with an E. Maybe I should ask Jeeves. Anyway, so it seems to me that while the direct functionality of Option Escape does not trace back to the next days, the seed of the idea does. The only lingering question remains: when exactly was the autocorrect functionality added to macOS 10? Panther? 10.2? 10.1? Or even before, perhaps in the public beta, or Rhapsody even? Sadly, most of that era seems to be difficult to access via emulation without an actual PowerPC Macintosh or other hardware which I don't own. So for now, the mystery will remain. But hey, at least some of the history has been traced, and I'd bet that one of the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla castaways out there has access to the PowerPC era of macOS 10, right? But with that, I'll throw it back to Allison to wrap up this wild story. And until next time, 以上 Katie でした。バイバイ
Oh my
I
gosh,
love
how awesome.
that was really well. I love her callback to Alta Vista and Ask Jeeves. It's like of the
Oh,
era.
it's fabulous.
That was perfect.
She managed to work in the podcast. Wait, don't tell me. Oh, okay. Now I got to record what I had to say next. Yeah, it almost doesn't matter what she's talking about. I heard her describe train schedules once on her podcast. It was fabulous.
wild story. And until next time, 以上 Katie でした。バイバイ
Okay, seriously, how cool is that? Not only do we know what this crazy option escape thing is, we know where it came from. I still don't know why it's invoked with such a weird keystroke. I don't know why it works from 1 to 12 but not 13, why it changed from escape to option escape somewhere after next step, and why I have a Japanese city district in my list. But I do know that having an international group of friends to pass a problem along from Australia to the US to the Netherlands to Japan is really, really cool. And by the way, does anyone know the answer to Trevor's actual dumb question? Remember, this all started when he was looking for a way to type in a specific size for a graphic in Pages and immediately use the arrow keys to move the graphic into position without using the mouse? Well, that's what we're trying to find out. So let me know how that works out. And if you've got a Power PC, you know you've got to try this option escape thing for us. All
So,
right.
well, Trevor's with us. Maybe he can tell us whether he's figured it out.
No, he hasn't.
He
I
hasn't.
sent him a
Okay.
solution
Okay.
that is so freaking funny. I figured out that I may do this as a write up just for the comedy. There's a couple of settings in accessibility where you can move the cursor with your head,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you can click by sticking your tongue out. So technically, I was able to type in the values for the size of an arrow and then move the cursor with my head, which took me like 2.5 minutes to get it onto the arrow and then go,
I
and I
want to
could
see
click on it. And then I could move the keys with the arrow keys. I could move it, and technically I did it without touching the mouse.
Is this an accessibility option?
Yeah, I've got a
That's
bunch of
actually a good
screenshots.
idea. That's excellent.
Yeah, well, what I was thinking would have been cool was there's some keystrokes in VoiceOver that let you switch panes like within something like Pages from being in the sidebar to being in the body, but they didn't work without being completely in VoiceOver. And I thought this one was funnier because I sent him a picture of me sticking my tongue out. So
maybe you could get a Memoji doing that.
there you go. All right. I don't think I remembered to write anything about Patreon, so I'm just going to go straight to security bits this week.
All right, save a little time. It is 6:07.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
we
Tesla thinks it's
we
time.
didn't take her jewelry off.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought about moving it, but
She's clean
okay.
now. No
She's
bling.
clean?
No bling on Tesla.
All right, let's hear it. Oh, I got to put in a security bits like okay. Hi Tesla.
She's just making the rounds now. She just goes to whoever will pet her.
Security bits. Security bits. That. Okay, and let's see how these transitions work. Same thing for us. Bye, Nick. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Security Bits with Bart Boost Shots. Not everything is bad news on the security front this week.
I don't think so. I see fire extinguisher icons on the whole.
So, Bart, I think I'm not sure what mic he's on, but his neighbor cut his cable from his ISP.
Literally,
with a
literally cut it.
Cut it off. Yeah, it was not intentional. I think it was like a hedge trimmer. So there is a point where we lose connection completely and we start over, but
that's not someone you want to be around when he's trimming his hedges.
Okay, let me hear the connection between these two bits here. It's gold. It's gold, I tell you.
Okay, so on to...
Actually, let me fix it. We were having, whoops. Option T. Ooh, make sure I didn't screw that up. Yeah, if you guys need to go, I understand. Okay, no, I'm still good there, right? Yeah, okay. All right, where was I? I was on that connection right there. Yeah, let me go into this a little bit. Man in the middle attack. Yeah, nice. Anyway.
And no one has ever gotten before with Apple clickbait.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah. Yeah, so that put those two dynamics together. Yeah.
It's gold. Okay, and I think I want to just cut that little piece there because he talks over my great line. It's gold, I tell you.
Okay, so on to...
All right, there we go. Oh, you know what I should play for anybody who's still here? Where did I keep that, Steve?
What is it?
Oh, it's down in delete me. The thing I got Adam Angst to say.
Oh.
Do you have it in Telegram? Did I send it to you?
I think you did, but I don't know how long ago that
Internet
would be.
willing indeed.
Shoot, where did I? Maybe I put it in chit chat.
Searching.
Hang on, if I saved
think you
it.
sent an AIF, it didn't
Oh, I
work.
did. I saved it here.
Okay,
listen to this, you guys. When I had Adam Angst on, listen to what I got him to do.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Plink. Didn't click. No, it didn't click.
Wait, you laughed over it. Hang on.
Plink. Didn't click. No, it didn't click. No, it didn't click. I mean, I clicked, but I didn't get it. Maybe I was not in the app. Let's try this again. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Plink.
Isn't that awesome? What I love about it is he's mixing the words together.
Right, and he needs to get the intonation. It's blink. It's
Yeah.
a crisp, really high pitch blink, and it's got to be real Brit. You gotta have to like a step function there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there was everything wrong. But I like how he says plank at one point, and then he says
stay secure.
He says clank, I think.
But he gets an A for effort. And it was a really good episode. I did enjoy listening to that.
Oh, was it fun for you?
Yeah.
Bart said he thought it was more of a
you?
therapy session at first. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I told Steve I thought it was a great episode. It was really fun. He goes, for anybody else? Obnoxious thing to say. Sandy would have defended me.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna wind up the show here. Well, on that note, we're going to wind this things up for this week. Don't forget to send in your dumb questions, comments, and suggestions. Wait. No, don't forget to send in your 15-year contributions, your audio files. Tell us something funny, something exciting, something you liked, nothing you didn't like. I only want to hear the good stuff for the 15-year anniversary party. Anyway, you can do that by emailing me at allison@podfeet.com, and you can follow me on Twitter @podfeet. Remember, everything good starts at podfeet.com. You want to become a patron? Go to podfeet.com/Patreon. Want to give a one-time donation at PayPal? Podfeet.com/PayPal. Want to join our Facebook group? Podfeet.com/Facebook. Want to join our Slack community? Lots of fun happening over there. Podfeet.com/Slack. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla castaways, especially on the 17th for the big party we're going to have for the 15-year anniversary. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed.
All right, I'm going to do a real quick green screen test.
Oh, you want to show people?
Yeah, so this may
what
mess
was left
everything
here?
up, but we're just going to experiment in real time.
We're going to have for the 15-year anniversary. Thanks for listening.
Just checking in
Stay
here.
subscribed. Okay, there we go. Hour and 18 minutes. I only wrote one thing this week. All right. So, Steve, you're going to play with the green screen?
We're going to try.
All right.
Bear with
which
me.
camera do you want me to be on?
Stay on the
Want me to
same
be on
one.
the other one?
Oh, are you on the C920?
Yeah.
Yeah, go to the other one for
Okay.
unless it's going to mess you up.
All right. No. What could possibly go wrong? All right. I think I need to refresh. Did I change cameras?
Looks the
Oh,
same.
no, I didn't. No, I didn't change here. I think it freezes me, so I may need
I'll
to
restart it.
refresh.
I'll refresh.
No, I'll do it.
All right.
No, not that one. This one. Too many. No, this
the
one.
LG camera.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, it did recover. Did it change?
I don't see it. Unless you were on it. Doesn't look different to
Let's
me.
see. Oh, that's weird.
Are you on the LG?
In the preview I am, but it didn't change it.
Whoa, there you go. Lost you there. Okay, now you're now we're gonna see behind the curtain.
Oh, no. Hang on. I can fix that. Here we go. We'll do that. Okay.
Okay. Let me work with that. I think I can work with that.
Work with me, dear.
Yeah.
All right. All
so
right.
a little
This is
dark
very
in
exciting.
the lower left, but I might. No, the
What,
other
down here?
left.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess you're right.
Oh, show must be over. The
What
lights are going
happened
out.
there? That just
The
messed
light
everything
went out.
up.
Okay, hang on. I can fix this. Let me open up the home app. I can only turn on my light by opening an app. Al's Den lamp. There we go.
Better.
All right. So, don't you want to switch to full screen while you do this?
Yeah. Good point.
Fix it.
Whoops.
Fix it.
That's not good. Let me fix that. There we go.
Whoa. That
Okay,
was interesting.
Now, let's see if I can do this.
Got a little bit of a green halo. That's what Mike was talking about putting on. Tighten the fabric, even out the lighting. Maybe. Yeah, look.
Hold on. Not done. I think I can.
Oh, I didn't fix the gamma for you.
Well, let me work it. I'm working with you.
Okay, hang on. No, hold still.
All right.
That should be max gamma. That should have helped a little bit. Yeah, the green gets darker below.
That's because there's not enough light down there. It's a little dark green, but let
Okay.
me. It's the other side that's worse.
Wrong side.
Well,
here.
they're both a little.
Get out of the way. There, it's perfect.
Yeah. Hold on. You know,
What's funny is
it
Zoom does this perfect.
Exactly. That's really frustrating because Zoom is just click, you're gone, and this has like 16 controls and
Yep.
can't get them all.
Let's mess things up. Let me take a screenshot with Zoom. And I'll show you what it looks like. Like this is doing nothing. Actually, hang on, get rid of that.
We lost your video. I mean, it's there, but it's frozen.
Okay. And me for all. Okay. Am I back? No,
No,
let me
let me
refresh. There we go. LEDs to the rescue.
But you're
Yeah, I've got
you're
some
zoomed
LEDs
out again.
pointed out. Now it looks stupid. But look at Zoom.
I didn't
Works
see-
fine.
Yeah, that's right.
But this $200 application, we got to have a little talk with our little friends there.
Hold on.
All right. Well, we've kept people awfully late. Steve, did you want to show them anything more exciting than this?
No, that's
Oh,
what
the
we're
other
working
nice
on.
feature is it causes a lag in Steve's voice.
Oh,
That's
is
really
it doing
fun.
it now? Is it lagging?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Clap or just talk again.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, show your face and it'll everybody will be able to see it. Good night, all. Goodbye, everybody. We should say goodbye.
Yeah, we should.
Talk, Steve.
Good night. Good night,
Wait,
everybody.
no, it's just a logo. I
Okay.
guess we're doing
You
logo.
sign us off.
Steve, let it up. All right. Goodbye, everybody. It was fun. Thanks for coming. Okay, so if I turn off Go Live, will it stop Go Live?
Go ahead and hit it.
What did that do?
No, I'm not. I'm still streaming, so I need to stop streaming.
That
You can't stop.
that
the
looks
stream.
good, but I
will
can
stop
make it
the-
look stupid.
I will stop the stream.
Wow,
Now.
this is a cool effect. Hang on, I want to get a picture of this.
More Allison. Okay.
Well,
we're
and
we're
remember,
losing
I've got it.
everybody. It is 6:18.
I know, but look, I've got a preview of my window too. So.
Okay. I'm gonna take us out.
Okay.
Good night.
All right. Bye.